Matsumoto's going to have to figure out that they're doing more harm than good as things advance currently. But yeah, this is my thoughts on Vivy Fluorite Ice Song, the 5th episode. So let's jump into it. But yeah, in this episode, we have jumped forward 5 years this time before Matsumoto has reactivated to give their next mission. It is kind of telling. We have this kind of intro with Vivy doing her performance, or Diva, doing her performance, and it seems like the technology on her stage is advancing a lot. And then, of course, they end up mentioning the fact that, yeah, technology and AI is shooting forward really, really quickly. And then as we go to protect a Dr. Psyche, we end up finding out there's this facility offshore that was not supposed to be built for another 20 years that is completely AI manned and AI built. So it is kind of giving this perspective that despite what they've changed, things are progressing really quickly. We also meet, like I said, Dr. Psyche, who is the first person to marry an AI, and he is involved with this entire situation, ends up kind of letting them know about the facility, gives them a virus to destroy it, and we find out that he worked for the Toke, and he doesn't really feel like he believes they have like this completely scorched earth mentality, and he does not, believe in that. He just feels that he just wants to shut down this facility and kind of keep this advancement from happening, because he feels that things are advancing way too quickly, just like Matsumoto's mentioning, and that they need to kind of stop this facility. So they're kind of just going to put it to sleep for now, I guess. But yeah, kind of get in perspective at this point that something's not really right with Dr. Psyche, because he's talking about, basically shutting down this facility, and we'll find out later that Matsumoto claims that, shutting this down is going to basically shorten the operation capabilities of these AIs. So he's essentially killing his loved one, his AI loved one. So at that point, I was like, yeah, something's not completely being spelled out here. But yeah, they go to this unmanned facility, end up, looking around it. It's huge, got tons of AI everywhere building this up. And they go to a resting area that the AI has actually built for the humans. So this giving this perspective of, even though they've built all this stuff, they still have humans in mind. They still have serving humans in mind in creating what they believe should be a resting point for the humans. So this is like this point where we're really kind of starting to really dig into AI compassion. The AI's desire to make comfort for humans and do things for humans, to serve humans. And that's kind of built in this one thing. It's kind of fascinating. It's all kind of built in this one little room. As they greet Diva, they play a song for Diva, which ends up being a song that she performed, and all being kind of apparently spearheaded by this mother computer that is telling them, this is be best to do, or something like that. As they're there, they notice that the Toke is invading the facility. They're coming in with all their ships to basically have an all-out war between the AIs and the Toke. And of course, obviously, they don't want this to happen. This clash will cause issues going forward for them. So they were trying to shut down the AIs using the virus, but then it kicked back up, and it was like all-out war at that point. These AIs jumping into the water and becoming torpedoes to shoot down these boats. But yeah, and of course, Diva ends up finding our friend Yugo once again. Yugo once again. I knew when they showed a body in the water, I'm like, it's gonna be Yugo, isn't it? They gotta drag Yugo back in this over and over and over again. Like I mentioned before, this is definitely a point in the story where we're really trying to hit on emotion of AIs, really kind of trying to blur the line between human and AI at this point. We're getting into relationships between AI and humans. We're getting into the more emotional and heart impact of an AI wanting to do things for humans, and almost trying to hit on that aspect of it feeling wrong to shut down an AI. That was definitely something. I mean, they had this whole little scene with like this perspective of this AI wanting to getting a name from what perceived as a person, and being shut down even still. Like, this was something given to me, and then I was shut down. But that gets into my theories going forward. This is obviously going to be at least a 2-episode arc, maybe more. But obviously we're not being shown everything. Like I mentioned earlier, Psyche has to have something he's doing here. My theory, it's kind of hitting a lot on this aspect of this relationship why would he be feeling that he needs to shut it down? They obviously showed something inside of the core of this facility. My theory is going to be that the Grace that is with Dr. Psyche, who is this AI, is not the one he married. My belief is going to be that the real Grace is probably within that facility, and that's why he wants to shut it down, is because she's stuck there. They showed a quick glimpse of, I think when she was shutting down the facility, it showed a quick glimpse of somebody going inside of some doors and it shutting. Obviously, what my perspective there is that's going to be Grace. She's actually inside the facility, and this Grace that we're seeing at Psyche's house is obviously probably a duplication that was created for him, or that he created himself in order to fill that gap. So, yeah, and I guess I really hope that they get more into why Psyche was a part of the Toke, because obviously they are extremists trying to destroy AIs, basically. And so if he loves AIs, why would he be with them unless he was trying to be an insurgent to them? All he really said is that they were too radical for him, basically. That doesn't really explain why you were there to begin with, unless he was a part of them and then fell in love with an AI, similar to what I think they're trying to do with Yugo and his constantly being saved by Diva, eventually possibly changing his heart to understanding that ARs aren't evil. AIs aren't evil. Errors? They also mentioned that that Grace was a part of the Sisters group of AIs, which obviously Estella was one of them, and obviously they were all kind of sisters of Diva herself. And so I'm not sure where they're going to go with that whole thing. They keep kind of bringing up the sisters thing. All I can think of is it's that aspect of trying to continue the legacy of the autonomous AIs, but curious where that ends up actually evolving going forward, because like I said, they keep bringing it up as if this is going to be a major plot point. Yeah, I think that's everything that was covered in this episode. Like I said, really curious to go what's going forward, learn more about Psyche, see the truth behind Grace, possibly her being inside this facility, and we'll see what happens with Yugo. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 5 of Vivy Fluorite Ice Song. Definitely still enjoying this series and looking forward to more. If you like this episode, please leave a like, comment down below, let me know what you thought. And as always, if you have not already, please subscribe. It does help us out. Share this video if you want. And I hope you all enjoyed, and y'all take care.